This is Off the Hook, where sharp picks meet real action. We do the work, sweat the spreads, and occasionally pretend we knew it all along. Let's go!
Off the Hook, weekly sports betting and information podcast. We're breaking down every line, every game, every week. Mike, what's happening?
Not much, Tom. Ready to make some money. Let's get this train rolling.
This is definitely sports talk that pays off. So you're going to want to listen, get a pen, a paper, whatever, iPad, laptop, take some notes.
Take every opposite side that we take.
At least what I take, anyway. At least what I take.
I'm joking. We're here to help you guys win money. That's the goal here.
Yeah. What we are not, as we said last week, we are not going to talk any WNBA because that is complete trash. And also what we are not is we are not a fishing podcast with the hook reference. So for people who are wondering what the hell is a hook, if you're even an intermediate type gambler, you know what the hook is in sports betting. If you don't, Mike, explain real quick what the hook is and the origin of the name, so to speak.
So a hook is you put it at the end of your line before you cast out, and they're based on the size of fish. No, really. You'll probably get a lot of people going online and thinking this is a fishing podcast because of the off the hook reference. But the hook is actually referring to the half of line. So when you bet a game, and let's say the game is you got the Eagles laying 3.5 points, you'll hear people refer to it as 3 in the hook. The hook is just considered that half line, that half line in every sport. That's what the hook is referred to as, that little half line. That does get you. It does bite you.
Yeah, for sure. And I guess we are a fishing podcast in the sense of we are fishing for winners. That's not the only true. It's about the only thing. It's about the only thing we're fishing for.
Yeah.
Just wanted to clarify that with people, just if you're not familiar with some gambling terminology. So that's in reference to the name where the hook comes from, that little half point in the line.
What's on the menu for today? Are we going to look at some win totals here?
Some housekeeping items. Recapping last week, which I guess was episode 0, so to speak. So this week is going to be the NFL Futures podcast. We're going to go through a deep dive of the upcoming 2025 NFL season, player props, future bets, who we think going to be the winner, Super Bowl winner, conference winners, all that stuff. So that'll be the bulk of this show for this week. And then, Mike, you gave out a little gem last week at the end of the show with the upcoming UFC 319 this weekend. You want to recap that? This is the official first bet that I'm not going to call it a lock.
So the first one we're laying down. Are we going to go? Are we going 0-1 right off the start? Well, I got the odds on my side here. So to lay the first one out, I'm not really going out there on a limb. I'm taking a favorite, a 2-1 favorite. I don't know if we got UFC fans out there, but I'll tell you what, it's a banger of a card this weekend.
Sure.
I don't know if you guys pay for the pay-per-view or if you find a way to cheat to get the thing like some of us do, but I actually would be, I would be willing to pay for the card this weekend. It's a really good card. It's stacked. But the main event will be the last fight of the evening, and that's Dricus du Plessis against Khamzat. And if anybody knows this division is the middleweight division is stacked with talent. And Dricus, or DDP, and that's not Diamond Dallas Page to the WWF or WE, I think it is now, fans. It's Dricus du Plessis, big muscle-bound South African white dude, super athletic. He's defending his title now. This will be the third title defense. But he's defending it against a Chechnyan maniac. And one thing about those guys is those Russian and Chechnyan guys, they can wrestle and they have good ground and pound. And when they get you down, not many people get up from that. So it's kind of odd to see the non-champion, the favorite, but Chimaev is actually the little over 2-1 favorite at FanDuel right now. He's minus 235. I think, Tom, you said earlier you saw it at DraftKings. He was even more. It was like almost minus 250, right? Is that what you saw? Yeah. So if you are going to take the favorite here, you want to shop around. So DraftKings probably isn't the best bet to go right now. I don't know what other books have it at. I booked in a while. I have this in for like a week now. So take a good look at Chimaev. I really think he, one of the problems with him is a lot of people say that he goes too hard and, as soon as the bell rings, he's out there and going 110 miles an hour, balls to the wall, and they worry about his gas tank. It's a 5-round fight. I'm not so worried about that because I really think that he gets this guy out of there in the first round or two. And if it does go the distance, I'm fairly confident that his gas tank will hold up. But don't be surprised if we see a very quick submission finish. And if it's not early, I'd say it's going to happen within the first 3 rounds. So there's a good line out there if you want to get under 3 rounds as well. So that's my first official play.
And you just stole my question because I was about to ask you if you think it's going to go the distance or if it's 2 rounds, 3 rounds. But
I don't. That's not an official play for me. I think it's going to go under 3. I will say this: if it does go the distance, I think the odds. If it does go the distance, I think DDP stands a decent chance. Don't think he's still going to win, but the longer the fight goes, the more chances he has.
Yeah. And on the lines of UFC, and folks, write that down. Take that bet. Lock it in. I know we're not doing Stone Cold Mortal Box, but lock that bet in. So it's a little nugget for you. But on the lines of UFC, Mike, and I heard this, and I don't know if this is official or if it's speculation, but allegedly they signed a deal with Paramount Plus, and
that is true.
So it's what?
No more pay-per-views.
Yeah, it's the $12.99 a month package gets you the UFC, right? It's not the basic. It's like I think it's the mid-tier, right?
Yeah, but let's say $13 to $15 a month. You're still getting, I think, Yellowstone's
Landman, Yellowstone, yeah.
There's what's that gang? There's a gang show.
Mayor of Kingstown.
Yeah, they have a couple good. They have a couple good programs on that. I said programs. My grandparents used to say that. They always used to say, "We're going to go home and watch a program this evening." I'm like, "Program? Are you watching a TV show?" Anyway, there's a lot of good programs on there, and you get all that for $15, and you get all the UFC events. So
you can't beat that.
You get all the UFC content where you're usually paying $70 a month. So yeah, that sounds like a good deal to me.
Yeah, and I'm just glad they got away from the whole ESPN thing because it's just garbage, in my opinion. But I
think a lot of people are starting to get away from that.
I was hoping it would be Netflix, so I wouldn't have to up my Paramount Plus subscription. But I mean, I can because Paramount Plus, you do get NFL, you get some other stuff, you get college hoops, right? So there is a benefit, and it's like you said, for $15. I mean, there might even be cell phone providers now that are including. Yeah. And when you win money throughout the NFL season, NBA, college hoop season, you can bankroll that $15 a month, and you get UFC. Is that starting? When is that starting? Did you see a start date for that? I did not, but
I did. I thought, from what I understand, it was 2026.
That's what I thought. Yeah, next year. I thought they're obligated through this year, and then that's my thought too.
I don't quote me on that. I could be wrong, but that's what I think.
Yeah, that's what I thought too, but I didn't see an exact date, but I just figuring it would be 2026 because they're probably contractually obligated to just finish this out.
So before we get into some football here, I want to ask you how your Dodgers are doing.
Listen.
How the hell are you a Dodgers fan anyway? You live in PA, for crying out loud.
Bad parenting. It's my pops' fault because he was a Brooklyn Dodgers fan and then followed him when he went to the West Coast. But obviously, growing up here, he would go down to Veterans Stadium when the Phillies played Dodgers all the time. Yeah, so then he would just go to random Phillies games too, because obviously he's not going to California to see games. Phillies closer, but every time the Dodgers would be in town, he would go down. There's a funny story to that. I don't know if I ever told you this story. This is when Drysdale and Koufax and all those guys were pitching, right? So they weren't even playing at Veterans Stadium, and they were playing at it was Connie Mack Stadium, I guess, at that time, right? It's a veteran. So, So my mom and dad would go down, and my dad, they get a program, and my dad would send my mom down to get autographs, thinking they're more likely to sign for a woman than a guy, right? Smart. So sends my mom down, and she tries to Koufax, all those Dodgers back in the day, all filled, right, with autographs. So my mom, when I was a kid, was telling me the story, right, because I would collect baseball cards and go to card shows and stuff. And so I asked my mom, I said, where are they at? Where are these programs at? And she said, "Oh, threw them out." I asked my dad if that was true. And I was like, did she really throw these out? And he's like, yeah. So how it came up is, I think my dad still has the vinyl. There was a vinyl that he had of Drysdale strikeout or perfect. I don't know. It was something, but it was vinyl, Vin Scully. The whole thing was on vinyl, right? A full-size vinyl, 33 and a third RPM, right? So, and I was listening to it as a kid, and then that's how they told me the story. And I said, oh, well, do you have these? Let me see them. Because this is when, Pete Rose played. So there was Phillies, there was Dodgers, all a mix, right? And yeah, we threw them out. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. So,
that's insane. That is insane.
Yeah. But as far as the Dodgers,
who needs autographs?
Yeah. 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 Right. This team is a complete, and you and I talked about this. This is a stretch of the past few years, probably the worst farm system I've seen from the Dodgers organization in a long time. Because normally they'd be loaded, whether it's fielding, pitching, and now it's like, there's like nobody. They call guys up, they send them down, they're up and down. This bullpen is a mess.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still
not sold on that coach. I'm not a fan.
I'm not either. I'm not either. I mean, he's one of those coaches that's the players coach, right? And these guys like playing for him. And I think over time, that's great, right? In the beginning. And listen, he won twice, right? Okay, I get it. Fine. Yeah. He did well last year, and I thought he was going to blow it. Almost did, but he did well. But those players, coaches, I feel they're not for the long haul, right? They're just, the players just get too relaxed, and then you lose it, right? So, and some of this, he's still making dumb moves. Are they going to win the World Series this year? I don't know. They're still favorite. I don't see it. I just, unless they start hitting, I mean, I guess this is a time you're going to struggle. You want to struggle now, but now they got a big series coming up this weekend with the Padres. They're now dead even with the Padres for the NL West. The Padres are now plus 250, win the NL West. So you want to jump on some money, some in-season money. I mean, I'd take that at this point. Fade the Dodgers. Are they going to get the playoffs? Of course, they're going to be a wild card. Or they're going to win the division. Yeah, I don't know. I guess, like I said, it's better to have them struggle now than end of September. In October, but they got to get right. The only positive I've seen in the past week or two is Blake Snell, 10 strikeouts and winning 5-6 innings in his last outing. And that dude literally won a Cy Young by pitching the last 2 months of the season very well, right? So I don't know, but it's just a weird. It's just weird what's happening. You have the Mets collapsing, thank God. The Phillies, the Phillies are moving up there. I think they're right behind the Dodgers at is it plus? It depends on where you get it. I think this book, it was a FanDuel, had it at plus, Phillies at plus 700. So it's like plus 600.
How about my Phils? I'll tell you what. Philadelphia in during this playoff run, it is going to be electric. They got a closer now. They got my man Johan, and man, when they crank that up and he comes running out there and they got those people in the stands flashing their lights and his theme songs playing, that place is going to be rocking. That's going to be a tough place to win. Tough place to win for an away team.
That's like a 1A, 1B with Mariano, right? The Enter Sandman, right? Like,
it really is.
Turning out the light, and now there's a fan experience with the app. Like if you download the MLB app and you're at the Phillies game, it's something where it's interactive, where the fans can kind of, your phone lights up or something crazy.
I was saying about flashing your phones. Yeah, I heard the same thing.
Yeah, so that has got to be like I said, the 1A, 1B intro for a pitcher coming, and that's crazy.
When I saw it the other night live for the first time, I literally had goosebumps. And I remember the first time, and man, they're a dumpster fire now of a team. But when Vatek used to have a decent football program, man, there's nothing in the world better than when they play Enter Sandman and run out of that tunnel. That's just amazing. That is amazing.
Night game. Enter Sandman at Vatek. Yeah. There is no better atmosphere in college football than that. No. And even though they suck now, If you just watch
It's
the
still
first
worth
five,
watching.
the first 5 minutes and then turn it off, you still see that. I mean, those kids, that team is trash, but those kids show up and just the whole, they're just balanced. That's insane.
Yeah, it's cool to watch.
Yeah, that is very cool.
What do you say we get into some football, huh?
Yeah. Let's get this football show rolling. This is NFL futures picks. I guess we're gonna roll. You want to start AFC,
Do some
NFC?
win totals?
Yeah, let's do win totals. Where you AFC?
You pick. Let's start with the NFC.
Yeah, let's do NFC. Let's roll down. Let's roll down that.
You want me to start off by giving my 3, Tom, or do you want to? Why don't I give my 3 and then you could tell them who you like?
Let me.
Or you want to go back and forth there?
I'm trying to look
and
at my
just for the
spreadsheet
record,
because it's like information overload.
I have no idea. I have no idea who Tom is picking. I have no idea what win totals he picked. This could be interesting. You may hear us be in direct conflict with one another here, and then you have to pick which way you're going.
And we might agree on some. So
that's possible.
This should be interesting. So I'm thinking, so what I did, and we can, however you want to do it. So we'll start with the NFC East. So one thing to point out as we move on throughout each show, it's important, and Mike brought this up with the UFC pick, it's important to line shop, right? It's no different than if you're buying a car or buying a computer or looking for a cell phone provider. You want the best deal. Now you can go and buy a car for $1,000 and it could get you from point A to point B. And then it could break down in 3 weeks and you're dumping $5,000 for an engine, right? So you basically just lost on that deal. It sounded good, but it's not. The key is get your bet. If you're sure on something, lock it in, right? Because the line could go either way. It could go either in your favor or not. So you don't want to take that chance, right? So when we have our picks, Mike could have whatever picks he has for the week, and he might got one line from FanDuel, one from DraftKings. We're going to mention that, but at the time that you're listening to this, that might not be the best option for you. So make sure that you're line shopping the books, right? And you're getting the best deal out there, because it does change, and it can change up to like an hour before kickoff or first pitch or tip off or whatever. So just minutes. When before there was the gambling apps, you and I'd be on the phone with you on a Sunday, and it's like 10:01 for the 1 o'clock games, and you'd be calling our bookie, and I'd be like, "Hey, did the line move?"
Yeah.
So you'd call him, you'd be texting me or calling me back. So this is right. So we'd literally, sometimes it would move, and you had a suspicion it was going to move. So I just want to mention that it is important to make sure you're just doing your due diligence and not just going with a random book. You know, just shop it and see.
There's many times where I'll place a bet early in the week, and at most places, you know, if you lay a lot of money and you're a big bettor, you're only going to be able to get so much down early in the week. A lot of books aren't going to take heavy action early in the week. But if you do know that a line is going to move against you, it's smart to get down early in the week. How do you know if it's going to move against you? Most people aren't going to understand that or quite understand why it's going to move one way or another. There's going to be certain games that I know that are going to get bet one way or another by the public, and you'll see I'll grab those early in the week. And if I see those games, I'm going to give you a shout and let you know. Does it always work in my favor? No, but 8 out of 10 do. You just have to know when to make the bet. And, you know, it's a difference. A point and a half in a football game is huge. So it's things we'll talk about as we move along here.
And I think the number might be even higher now. I think it was last season I read it's like 70 or 75% of NFL games, the scores is decided by less than a touchdown, regardless of how bad the team is. It's not like college football where Clemson's running the score up on North Carolina.
Yeah.
For my picks, these future picks, if you shop these future picks, if you're going to do futures picks, and if you're going from DraftKings to FanDuel, right, whatever book, they're pretty consistent. Maybe within a half a point. These futures picks really don't move too much, usually, from what I've seen. For mine, I just went with DraftKings just because that's what I was looking at the time that I did it. So all my numbers are based on DraftKings time. So, but I checked today and they haven't moved. And I just went through this a couple of days ago. But again, that's just one thing to look at. One more thing, and then I'll get off the soapbox of the books. But just so people listening understand, that you have a public book like a DraftKings or a FanDuel, and then some book like Circa is considered the sharp book or the smart money book, right? Which you're looking at two different things, right? You could have the bet ratio could be different in a public book versus a smart book. So it's kind of good to compare if you can, just to see who's betting what and where. Do you agree or not agree with that when you look?
Yeah. The problem is most people aren't going to be able to, like, I can't open a Circa account. You're not going to be able, most people don't have the ability to open a Circa account.
Right.
Circa is the first, when lines open up, Circa is always the first book to get the line out. You could get the lines earlier in the week at Circa, although I'm starting to see other books are starting to get theirs out there a little quicker.
Yeah.
Circa's always the first one to get it out there. But again, there's limits. So, the line comes out, you want to jump on it early, you're not going to be able to get a lot of money down. So most of us casual bettors, you're going to be making your bets on football games Sunday morning or Friday through Sunday. And there's still a good, you still have ways to win betting late in the week.
For sure.
Lines aren't as sharp, but you still have opportunities to make some money.
Right. And that's our goal here every week, is to help you make an informed decision, right? Like, we're both Eagles fans, and as much as we'd love to take the Eagles every week, I'm not going to. I know I'm not, but you want to bet smart or smarter, and to at least understand why you're making the bet, instead of just waking up Sunday morning and just throwing money on the Eagles just because you're an Eagles fan. You might work out, you might get lucky, but just taking your favorite team to win every week, or just the money line or whatever you're betting, it might not be the best option for you. You still can, but our goal is to help you win money. We want to help ourselves win money, and that's where the analysis will come in. Streaks, right? Good or bad, stuff like that. So that's the whole gist of the program as we move forward throughout these these weeks here, helping you become a better, more informed bettor and understand why you're doing it. And because people are going to ask you, well, why'd you take that? Well, because I like the Bengals. All right, why? I mean, so
just tell them you have inside information. You don't need to share it. You have inside information, and keep it at that.
You got to win
3 in a row. They're going to start to believe you.
Exactly. And we are not endorsing anyone, any book. We're not, again, this is a low budget, no budget podcast. We are not married to any books.
No affiliations.
Yeah. We'll take whatever the best deal is. We're just trying to help everybody win and put some money in their pocket. Because the whole idea, just like going to the casino, is to beat the house, right? So you want to beat the book. And make money, whether it's $5 or $500. So we're going to roll through. What I did is, we'll start with the NFC East. I did all the teams in the division just to roll through. So if you want to do that, or it's up to you. I don't know how you want. That's
up to you. I'm only going to give out the ones that I actually played. So I have 3 in the NFC and 3 in the AFC, and I'll share those with you. I could go through everyone and say which way I would go, gun to my head, which way I'd lean. But again, those are gun to head, picking, flipping a coin. I actually have some, I actually like the ones that I'm about to give out. I actually played those myself. And like I said, I'm not going to give you anything that I didn't take myself. And if I do give something out, I will let you know these are not plays that I took, but I do like them. And I think we could probably start off with the Eagles, Tom, because I think we both, if I remember talking to you, we both have the same feeling about this.
Yeah.
Win total was 11.5.
Yep.
And I know I like the under, and I think Tom feels the same.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm definitely on the under.
Eagles fans too.
Yeah. And I just the 11. Again, there's the hook, that half point. I think the Eagles are an 11-win team, 10 bare minimum, but I think 11, and there's that hook, the hook with the half point. Definitely taking the under.
My thoughts on the Eagles. All right. Okay. Yeah. So I feel the same about the Eagles. So there's some question marks this year on defense. I just don't feel like they're going to have a good pass rush. The Eagles heart of the team was always a defensive line. And, I think there's question marks there. this year. Aside from that, that last year they played 6 playoff teams. They played 6 playoff teams all season long. This year they're playing 11 playoff teams. They're not going to be able to just walk through the schedule like they did last year. For those reasons alone, I think they're a 10 win, maybe. That's why I see them coming in at 10 wins. So I'm going to take the under. I had to lay a little juice to get it. It was 11.5 minus 120. I'll lay that 120. I won't do more than that. Just for you guys that don't know, don't be betting on these books that have high juice. 120, you'll see it go up to 125, 130.
That's too much.
Just to give you an idea, the difference between 120 and laying 130 is 4%, almost 4.5%. So you wouldn't go to the store and buy a loaf of bread or buy something that's taxable. In, let's say, PA, you're paying 6% tax. You wouldn't go there and want to pay 10% on any other thing that you buy in the world. So don't do it on your sports bets. 130 is ridiculous. So be cautious about what they're putting out there. Sometimes you're so happy to see the line you want, you don't even realize you're not getting 110, you're getting 125, 130. That's all I'll say about that.
That's a great point, because there's a point where you have to understand that, because there's a point where like that I'm losing too much. As much as you want to take it, you're like, that's just that's too much to leave and lose on that. So yeah, definitely Eagles under. And getting back to what you said about the schedule, their strength of schedule is the 8th toughest out of the 32 teams. So they do. And I have a little gem for the end of the show, but I'll give a little tease. For the first 3 weeks of the season, the Eagles are one of the 4 teams with the hardest first 3 weeks to start the season. So
interesting.
And the season following the last 2 Super Bowl appearances with the Eagles, they were 11-6 and 9-7. So if you take that under, looking at the trends, that 10, 11 wins, you're still at that under. So I don't think they dip below 10. Again, injuries, things like that, but I'm right there with you on the under for the Eagles.
Yeah, I have a couple more NFC win totals. I don't know if you wanted to.
Are you staying in the NFC East, or you got any more in the NFC East?
No. I only had one NFC East. The rest are spread throughout the other 3.
So I'll have another one for the NFC East. For fellow Eagles fans, this may piss people off, but it's just what I feel. And for the sake of this show, I will be referring to the team in Washington as the Redskins, and not that stupid woke name, the Commanders, because that sounds like a stupid soccer team, and it just sounds stupid. So the Washington Redskins, I'm taking the over at 9.5. So over 9.5 for the Redskins.
Gun to my head, I'd go there.
I think there's somewhere between 9 and 10. 11 is a stretch, but I still like the over. I think the team is improved. I don't know. It could go either way. Dan Quinn, I don't know. I'm not sold on him.
Never was a big fan, to be honest, but I'm just not thrilled with the rest of the division, though. So they have a chance.
Yeah. The rest of the division, I think, is complete trash. The Giants are trash. I mean, they're just garbage. Dallas is Dallas. It's just. But I like emotional coaches. Sirianni, I like that. I know people are irritated by Sirianni. I like that. That's why I tend to gravitate more to college football than the NFL. If I had to choose, like what would I, if I had to pick one day out of the weekend, what I'm going to watch, I would choose college football, and it could be a random college football. I like the emotion part of it and coaches that are involved like that. I do like Dan Quinn from that aspect. Right. I do like Dan Quinn, how he is emotional. The backwards hat thing kind of pisses me off. I'm like, it's just kind of little overboard.
Although I'm wearing one right now too.
You're not as big
I know, but it does irritate me to see him. Yeah, good point.
But I just don't know how long that is. When does that wear off? I guess is what I'm saying. That shtick, I think, a couple of years maybe, and then I think it fades. But they got Deebo Samuel. They did make improvements, so I like the over there. We already said the rest of the division is trash. I'm not going to waste any time on the Giants or Dallas. If you do want that. Share it with you. I can put this out on social media, and I can put all my picks if you want, but I just don't want to waste a breath on the rest of those two teams because I think they're complete trash. Should we move to the NFC North? Want to go there?
Yeah, go ahead. Lead. If you got something, let's hear it.
So the first one from the NFC North, the Lions, their over under that I saw at DraftKings was 10.5, and I am taking the under, and that is
Ding ding.
and you're probably going to say the same thing that I'm going to say. When you have a new offensive coordinator, a new defensive coordinator, I think it's a lot to ask. Just guys getting comfortable. Can they do it? Yeah. I don't know. Are they going to be a threat? Yeah. Again, everything's if everybody's healthy and minimal injuries, but I just think the under 10.5. I don't see them winning less than, I think 9 is, like the bottom floor for them, unless something crazy happens. But I just want
to see what they do offensively now with the loss of Ben Johnson. They have a new offensive coordinator and the revamped offensive line, new center. Looks like they're going to be starting 2 rookie guards. Jared Goff is not the guy you want, having to move around in that pocket. That's not the type of player he is. Although I'll tell you what, I wasn't sure about him. He's a pretty damn accurate passer when he has time and he could sit back there and doesn't have to worry about getting hit. I just don't know if they're going to look explosive as an offense this year. It's tough when you're used to an offensive coordinator and then you get new people in there. Only time will tell. And then the defense, they're okay, but they still have issues with top-notch quarterbacks. Whenever they face a top-notch quarterback, they give up points. And those are the games that you have to shut down. You can't always just outscore people, and they're going to be in shootouts again. So
I was just going to say, if they're in a shootout, my money's on the other side because that defense is there's holes there, right? So I'm not sold on it. Like for example, it's possible it's Eagles Lions NFC Championship game, and if it is a shootout, my money is on the Eagles, not just as an Eagles fan, but I'm more sure of that defense and them getting the job done than the Lions with a new defensive coordinator making the right calls. And listen, these guys are professionals on the offensive side of the ball and the defensive side of the ball. I could care less if any team plays their starters in the preseason. I don't want to see starters playing the preseason, to be honest with you. I think it's dumb. And it's like AI said, we're talking about practice. Look, you get to a
practice, man.
You get to a level
games about practice.
He was 100% right
about games. I'm talking about practice.
That is probably that's one of the best quotes ever. You get to that level, and Mike, you played college basketball. You get to a level where it's just rhythm at that point, right? It's like baseball to me.
Muscle memory.
Right. It's like basketball, golf, any sport. It's muscle memory. Where I do agree, where preseason is baseball, spring training from a hitter standpoint and pitching, because hitters it's timing, pitchers it's control, it's velocity, right? But there's a point where you can go overboard with that. The NFL with the contact and just the risk of injury is higher, right? So these guys are in mini camps. They're working in the off season. They're working with their receivers if it's a quarterback or if it's an offense. It's just the muscle memory, and this is where I'm not sold on that. That's why I'm taking the under. Is again the offensive coordinator. It's the cadence. It's the rhythm. Where's Goff? Goff is smart, but is he going to be comfortable in crunch time running something new? He can do it, but it's a comfortability aspect there. I don't know. It's a lot, but
my money's on he's not.
Yeah.
So I only have one more. That I was willing to put my hard-earned money on.
In this division or the whole NFC?
No, the whole NFC, and that's. But I am staying in the division.
Okay, what's your pick?
I have the Packers. I got the Packers over 9.5. I am a big Jordan Love fan. You took the under, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah,
I did.
I am a big fan of Jordan Love. I think he's coming into his own. I think he's going to have a much better season. The Packers defense, I think Packers defense is solid. Last year, I believe they were 4th in tackling. They blitz an awful lot. And they create havoc. I think they're only better this year. Fan of the coach. Wasn't at first. Kind of think he looked cocky and kind of was a little cocky. But LaFleur, I like him. I think.
Yeah, I agree there.
Love got a little something going together. I think you're going to see a maybe a 10-win Packer season this year, maybe 11. That's my.
I agree with the coach, and I can tell you why I went the other side is I am not sold on Jordan Love yet. I've seen flashes.
Fair.
I just don't know if I'm ready to put my chips all in and say he's the guy. Is he better than 90% of the quarterbacks in the league? Sure. Is he top 10? He's there. I just don't know. I haven't seen enough of a sample to say, yeah. Every other point you made, though, from a defense, they have a good run game. I'd like to see another wideout, maybe somebody else for him to throw the ball to. Maybe that'll come. But I think the coaching staff, correct me if I'm wrong. I think he's had the same OC since he's been there, or did they change? Because that, to me, that makes a big deal for a young kid that's trying to, and he had a lot of pressure backing up Aaron Rodgers, right, and then coming in. So if it's the same OC, that helps him. I don't know.
He's such a physically gifted kid. He's one of those guys that goes out there at quarterback, and you don't have to worry about your athletic ability. You know, you could just go out there and be you, and it's going to be enough. It's just a matter of, does he pick up the offense well? Does he read defenses well enough? And I think we started to see signs of that being the case, and that he can be an elite NFL quarterback. I think people are going to look differently at him after this next season here, and the next year we'll be talking a little differently about him. That's the way I'm going. I hope I'm not eating my words.
I think his head's right. I think his head is right now. He struggled that first year, right? But I think his head's right. I think he's got the confidence, and then it falls to me. I think it falls on the coaches too. Are they going to put him in the right position? So far, they haven't asked him to do more than what he's capable of. He's surrounded with good talent on both sides of the ball. Like I said, I took the under, but I agree. I could see them going to 11. I could also see, again, if he plays well and coach doesn't make mistakes, and I could see them maybe even getting to the NFC Championship game. I could see them making a run. They are good. And I do like the coach.
Their OC is Stenovich. He's been there since he was promoted to the job 2022. Before that, he was the offensive line coach. Okay. I'll be honest, I don't know a whole lot about him. I just never see how I never understood that an offensive line coach going to the OC. They just don't seem like they would be, have a lot of creativity, from being an offensive line coach to an offensive coordinator.
It is strange.
I could be wrong.
Because you're thinking he's working on developing the linemen and the protection standpoint, and not designing plays. Yeah. It's right. Unless he did that somewhere else before he got to Green Bay. But that is good that he's been there. This will be his third season, right? So from a Jordan Love standpoint, he's not, he's comfortable with him, right? So it makes a big deal, I think, for a young kid, especially following somebody like Aaron Rodgers. If he was following somebody like a Jameis Winston, you really wouldn't care because he doesn't have the bar's low, right? So that's probably not a good example, but he's mediocre, I guess. The example I was looking for. At best. Right. I have one more to mention in that division. And it's not the Bears because they're not even worth mentioning. But I took the Vikings under 8.5. And I'm not sold on J.J. McCarthy. He was good at Michigan. He's coming off an injury. Head coach has worked well with quarterbacks in that system. I would have given Sam Darnold the money and kept him. I don't know. I don't know.
The Vikings under, you got the Lions under, and the Packers under. These guys, some of them are going to have to win somewhere in that division.
I wasn't going to talk about the Bears. I had the Bears under too. The Bears 8.5 is way too many wins for the Bears.
You have all four teams. They must be losing every outside of their conference games. They're not going to win a game probably, which might be the case.
There's no way in hell I'm taking the over on a team with a quarterback that paints his fingernails. I'm sorry. I don't care. I don't care if the over under was 4.5. I ain't taking the over. I mean, come on, dude. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? But no, I have that whole division is under. But again, the Lions, I think 10. I think Green Bay is 9. I don't know. To me, I could see Green Bay I could see my Green Bay pick being wrong more than my Lions pick. I could see Green Bay overperforming that and hitting the over. I don't know.
Yeah. Would you got any others in the NFC at all? I mean, those are the only three that I really like that I was willing to put my money on. You have like any honorable mention teams that didn't quite make the cut or close up there?
So I'm going to give you three. I'm going to give you three more. I know you're not going to like this because you and I talked earlier before you brought him up. I like Tampa over 9.5. That division is complete trash. The division is just garbage.
Well, you're gonna. So I know I said that to you, but when we go through the division winners later, you're gonna be surprised that I actually have them as my division winner. That doesn't mean that I'm a fan of their quarterback.
Yeah, the other the other two that I have in the NFC, I think the Cardinals over 8.5. If Kyler Murray just stops playing Call of Duty and just focuses more on football and just stops being a knucklehead, I think the coach has made improvements. I didn't think he would. He's improved each year, I feel. They hang tight with teams in that division, and then the next week they'll get blown out. So I think if they learn to be more consistent and play these teams tougher, I could see that. The other one is the Rams over 9.5. Now,
I like that.
I made that pick, and then Stafford's getting injections in his shoulder, and that scares me because I feel like there's more to that than what they're letting on. And when we get to the division winners, I like the Rams a lot. I think the Rams could go deep, and again, based on Stafford, not on the rest of it. It rides with Stafford. Dude, I don't even know who their backup is. I couldn't even tell you, just because it doesn't. In my mind, it doesn't matter who their backup is at this point. If he's missing more than 3 or 4 games, their season's done. That's how I feel. So hopefully that's not the case. But I like them on the over for the Rams.
He's an old man, but he's tough. He's still got a good arm, and he's been one of my favorite quarterbacks throughout the years, and I'd like to see him have a good season this year, and I think they will.
I just like that coach too. He's another one. The emotion, I like that. I don't know. That's just, I think he gets a lot out of his players. I mean, look what, and again, we just talked about, I know you're not a fan of Baker Mayfield, but when Baker Mayfield was there for a hot minute, a couple seasons ago at the end of the season, and was it a Thursday night game or a Monday night game when he played, and they kind of dumbed down the offense, and the dude was, I think he's one of those coaches where he knows what he has and he's not going to ask him to do too much. Almost like a Bill Belichick, where he would just get these guys in and just ask them, he wouldn't ask them to do too much. He knew what they were capable of and put them in the right position to succeed.
And just for the record, I think Garoppolo is the backup there. And I think Stenson Bennett is also, and I think there were some good words coming out of camp from him.
That's right. The Georgia kid. I forget. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And they like him. I like
him better than Jimmy G. That's
Jimmy G's. He's a looker. Ladies like him, but I don't know.
That's about it.
About it.
All right. Anything else? Did we hit all the NFC? We did hit. We had the North, the South, NFC East. Did we hit? Oh, West. I had a touch in the West, but I don't think you had anything in the West.
No.
Should we move the AFC?
Yeah. So let's just do collectively AFC. Who you got in the AFC? I'll go with my first one. I like the Dolphins under 8.5.
Yes.
Are you feeling the same? Good.
100%.
Yeah. So I'm not a Tua guy.
No.
Never really was. There's a lot of hype about Tua when he came into the league. Just never really thought he was that guy. He had stretches where he looked great and then stretches where he looked average at best. I didn't love their draft. Didn't love their draft this year. Their secondary is just going to be bad, like it always is. And, here's something to think about. After week 12, that's their bye week, you think they have an easy schedule, right? When you think of the teams that they're playing. After week 12, they have the Jets, the Steelers, and the Pats away. But think about this. They are all cold weather places that you take this Dolphins team that's used to playing in sunny 80-degree weather, and they're going to go up in to New York and to the Steelers, and they're going to play in frigid weather, and they never play well. They never. It's like these teams never seen cold weather.
Jets, Steelers,
and the Patriots. Yeah, that's
Jets.
after their bye.
And their bye is what, week 12?
Yeah, they aren't winning any one of those games.
Those are all 3 losses. The only one maybe they win, maybe Pittsburgh, but the Jets always play them tough, even when the Jets suck. The Pats, the Pats are going to be better this year. I'm a Mike Vrabel fan, and the Pats, they will not beat New England in the later part of the season. Pittsburgh is the only one. The only reason I'm saying maybe Pittsburgh, I like Aaron Rodgers, but sometimes he gets in his own head. If he gets hurt, they might actually be better off with Mason Rudolph than Rodgers at that point. But I agree. I think those are all 3 losses. And like you said, the cold weather, and look what happened in Kansas City in that playoff game. They got destroyed. And everybody had all this hype on the Dolphins. And I liked Mike McDaniel. I don't think he's the guy. He's one of those guys I feel he's like a Josh McDaniel. Right, where he's the forever offensive coordinator, sucks as a head coach. That's I feel like McDaniel. I'm not sold on him. And how many times can Tua get hit in the head? I mean, this guy, his brain is like mush. I mean,
this might be the last year he's a starting quarterback.
I mean,
I'm just glad we agree. I'm glad we agree on that one.
I mean, can you just stop trotting the guy out there? For God's sake, this guy's going to have CTE before he's 30.
Yeah.
Might be the first player to have CTE while he's still playing. I mean, what the hell?
I'm sure there's some of them right now.
Yeah.
All right. Who else you got? We agree on that one.
Yeah. I have the Pats over 8.5 just because I like Vrabel. And I think he gets teams to play for him. Not sold on the quarterback. I think they did better rebuilding some talent. Gerard Mayo was just an absolute dumpster fire. That was just a horrible hire. Should have never happened, but I guess it worked out. I mean, Vrabel to me is one of those guys that, and Kraft doesn't seem to mingle in too much with the team like a Jerry Jones per se. And I think Vrabel is the type of guy, Tom, hey, shut your mouth and let me run the team and step back, right?
He's another one of those coaches that the players really play hard for.
Yeah. But he's also, they do play for him, but he doesn't take any shit, right? He's like a no nonsense kind of guy. So I like the over there with New England.
All right.
You said you have one more on the AFC? Yeah, go ahead.
I got 2 more. I'll be brief with these. I got the Jags over 7.5.
Yes.
I'll ride with that. We're on the same side again. I like that.
Riding with that.
So I like Trevor Lawrence, and he's been in this antiquated offense now for a couple years, and they lost Dave Cantless, and they immediately go from a 20-point team to a 30-point team just with his absence. The defense will still be a bit shaky, I believe. Jacksonville is never going to come out and be a stout defensive team. But in this division, you really don't have to be. Like in shootouts with Jacksonville, I'll take my chances. And I really think that they're an 8, maybe even 9-win team this year.
Agree.
That's what I'm going with. That's where I put my money. Good.
Liam Cohen did a good job with Mayfield in Tampa last year. And look, let's be honest. I like Trevor Lawrence too. Let's be honest, Doug Peterson is not the sharpest tool in the shed from a coach, even though he did bring a Super Bowl to Philly. You and I talked about this. Doug Peterson won because of that coaching staff, because of Frank Reich and Jim Schwartz and the secondary.
Yep.
Listen, if Peterson he showed his true coaching ability in Jacksonville when he was, I guess, the guy, and really his assistants were mediocre at best. The guy nice guy, but he did what coaches should do: surrounded himself with really good assistant coaches and coordinators, and that brought a Super Bowl. And he's one of those coaches where he's that likable guy. Guys do play for him, right? But I mean, let's be honest. Trevor Lawrence was wasting away in Jacksonville with that offense and that coach. So I think they're going to be. I could see 9. I could even maybe see 10. They might get 1 or 2 that they shouldn't. I don't know. But yeah, I agree
Hey,
with you,
that
Jack.
would make me happy. That means money in my pocket. And my
Cash
last
that. We're gonna cash
AFC
that. We're
win
gonna cash
total.
that ticket. We're cashing that ticket with the Jags for
Yeah,
sure.
that one's a winner.
Yeah.
My last one, you're not going to agree with me here, I don't think, from what I understand. I get the Steelers, and I'm not a Steelers fan by any means. I got the Steelers over 8.5. You know, I'm not a big fan of Tomlin either, but I will tell you, he's always had a winning season. He is 13-5 to the over on win totals. That's insane. That's insane. I didn't realize that.
I did not know that until you just said that.
No,
he's 13.
No, I was never a big
he's
fan.
13-5 on over.
13-5 on over the win totals. Yeah, those are good numbers. It's not hard to go against that. Honestly,
you're gonna be shocked. I actually did take the Steelers over. I did take the Steelers over.
Good,
and it was honestly it was a coin flip for me when I took that pick. But I'll let you continue. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I'm not necessarily sold on Aaron Rodgers. I don't know what you're going to get from him. I don't think anybody really does. Listen, if Aaron Rodgers is a train wreck, listen, Mason Rudolph is a capable backup, and as a starter, he's 8-4-1 as a starter. He could get the job done. I'll take my chances there, and I'm going with the Steelers over 8.5.
And he's been in that system, so I do like Rudolph, and I think that. And I didn't know the Tomlin 13-5 on the over win total but just when I had to flip the coin essentially for that, I was like, okay, there's the Tomlin effect because he's had some trash teams the past couple of years and still didn't have a losing season when you thought he was going to, and he somehow squeaked it out. And then the Mason Rudolph, because they do have a viable backup because you don't know. I mean, listen, is Rodgers going to be any worse than he was in New York? I highly doubt it because that coaching staff was a mess. The team was a mess, and it's the Jets. Come on. Like he went there for the money. It's New York, right? You know, I'm not an Aaron Rodgers fan either, but if he comes out healthy, he can win. And I mean, he's capable of winning.
They're winning 9 games.
Yeah. I just don't know how his body holds up, right? I mean, that's the question mark. But again, there's Mason Rudolph there, and he's probably one of the better backups in the league. And I don't even know. I think actually their strength of schedule is actually favors them. Hold on, flipping through. They're like mid-pack, 14 rated for strength of schedule. So I mean, that division's tough. So looking at the Steelers real quick, since we're on this and the schedule. So they start at New York. That's a win because Aaron Rodgers is going to want to stick it to the Jets, right? Then you got Seattle at home. I'll take Tomlin at home. That's the home opener. And then they're at New England. That's a loss. And then the following week is at Minnesota. That could go either way. That's a toss-up. And then they have a bye. Their bye is early, but they come out of their bye against the Browns. So let's say Jets, Seattle. So let's say they lose to New England, Minnesota. That's 2-2. So after their bye, Cleveland, 3-2 to start, potentially.
You know, we'll go through this, and it's not going to go any way that we just said, right? You know, they'll win the games they're not supposed.
Right.
That's how it works.
I could see them probably losing in New England and winning Minnesota. So you got, 3-1 going in your bye. You come out, maybe you're 4-1. I mean, that's possible.
It's
possible.
I don't know how they get there, but they're winning 9 games.
Yeah. I mean, shit.
Thank you.
Depending on how the conference falls, they might even be a wild card team. Who knows? I mean, it's possible.
Yeah, potentially.
You got any other ones in that, or
no? I'm ready to give you some freaking some division winners here.
Let me see if I do have 2 in this AFC West. Chargers over 9.5 and Broncos over 9.5. I'm more confident in the Broncos than the Chargers, but there's still Jim Hart. Listen, the Chargers are underperformed, even though they won 11 games. I keep hearing every year that Herbert, I don't know, but the 9.5 seems low to me. I don't know. And Broncos, I always like Sean Payton as a coach.
Either way, to be honest.
Yeah. I like Bo Nix. I like Peyton.
Way.
They played teams tough last year. Those are the only other 2 I have as far as that goes. All right, so we're good on the season win totals, over unders. We're good there.
Yeah. Let's Let's see who we got in these divisions here.
All right.
I don't need to give a whole lot of analysis on this because we probably just gave it all on our talking about these teams or our win totals. And I'm starving here. Mom, where's my meatloaf? That's the best. Wait, what movie is that from? When Will Ferrell had no, old school.
Old school.
Yeah.
Where's
my meatloaf?
Wasn't there one Hangover? Wasn't Alan yelling his mom gave him chocolate milk or something kind of similar? One of the Hangover movies. But the meatloaf is that's old school.
Yeah.
It's after his wife kicks him out, right? His wife kicks him out, I think.
Yeah, that's a great movie.
It is a great movie.
Anyway, where do we start here? Let's start at the NFC. I got some notes here for the NFC.
I don't know what happened to mine. Let's go around the horn. We'll start NFC East, right? So we'll start there.
Yeah, you know where I'm going. Although I don't think the Eagles are going to win as many games this year, they win enough games to take the division. That's all I got. What do you think? You're not going to tell me that you think the Redskins are winning the division, are you?
Listen, and you and I talked.
My God. Jeez. It would be my close second.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to take the Giants or the Cowboys. They're both dumpster fires.
No.
The only reason I'm taking the Redskins is because the last time you've had repeat winners, and I know you're not a trends guy. I don't know. Because trends are made to be broken. This division, I mean, there's been good teams, whether it's the Eagles or there's been good teams. So since 2001 to 2004, Andy Reid teams won. They three-peated. But since then, you're looking at 21 years, they have not had a repeat winner. I'm just in general, I'm fading the Eagles on I'm fading the Eagles on everything. The over under the under for the win total, the Saquon under 1,500 rushing yards. It's that the number's high from where I'm thinking, which is why I went with Washington. To be honest with you, they're going to be second, barring they implode or something crazy happens. I think they split the season series. I just think it's going to be like if the Eagles win 11 games, Washington wins 10. I think it's going to be like a 1-game difference. But I just took the trend and went opposite.
No,
if the Redskins were bad, and we all know Giants and Dallas are bad, I would have taken the Eagles to repeat. But I just feel the Redskins they're right.
No, I feel like that's a popular pick. That's going to be a popular pick amongst people. I think people are probably thinking the Redskins are up and coming and this might be their year. So no, I can't say anything bad about that, but I just can't do it yet. So how about what's your NFC North?
Lions.
Who you got?
Lions.
Yeah, me too.
Listen, they have we talked about this, the two new offensive, defensive coordinators on both sides of the ball. They have new coordinators. There's still the Dan Campbell effect, right? I mean, listen, I'd run through a wall for that guy, right? So, but I could see Green Bay winning that division.
Yeah, this was a tough decision for me. Now, I want to be transparent here. Just to be clear, I don't bet division winners before the season. I'm just going through these for the sake of the podcast, and these are who I would take, but these are not official bets for me. But yeah, this was a tough decision deciding between the Packers and the Lions for this division, but I think the Lions are going to pull it out. So we agree on that one as well, Tom.
I mean, and I'm looking, I mean, the Lions and Packers play each other week 1. I mean, somebody's losing right off the bat, right? So, I mean, if you look at Green Bay, Lions, Redskins, Cleveland, Dallas, and that could be 2-2. They could be 2-2, right? And then you got the Lions. So the Lions schedule is Green Bay, Chicago, Baltimore, Cleveland. And again, they could be 2-2, right? So that week 1 game, that head-to-head week 1 is a big deal, right? Because I mean that could make or break the division right there, that week 1 matchup. So,
all right, where were we? NFC South.
Yeah, I think we already alluded to this. I got Tampa. Yeah. And here's why. Here I like Baker. Now this is his 8th different offensive coordinator in his 8 years in the league and his 3rd in 3 years in Tampa. And the guy was top 5 in quarterback stats last year. And he's got Evans coming back, Godwin, McMillan. He's got Egbuka now, the backfield. I mean, the offense is stacked. And the only reason I took Tampa, 4 of the final 6, 4 are at home. So,
So for those reasons that you just mentioned, outside of Baker Mayfield, I agree. I am not a Baker Mayfield fan. I like his guts. I like his grit. I just don't think he's all that skilled. I think what he doesn't have in, quarterback ability, he makes up in athletic ability. And I just feel like he's not going to be as good this year. I just feel like he's not going to be hitting those passes that he hit last year, hitting wide receivers in stride. I think you're going to see some of the Baker Mayfield that you've seen in the years past. Maybe I'm wrong, but I still think it's enough to get the division, especially with the teams in that division. I think he has that going for him. So look at this, Tom. Are we going 4 for 4 here? Who are you? Give me your last NFC division here. Is it possible we go 4 for 4? Oh, no, we didn't, because you had the Redskins. I had the Eagles. That's right.
Yeah. Oh, we could go 3 out of 4. That's not bad. That's 75%. So NFC West, I got the Rams.
So do I. Good pick. Yeah.
And it's probably
I'm a Stafford.
Yeah, I'm
a Stafford fan.
That the McVay Stafford combo with Puka, and now you got Devontae Adams.
People forget that McVay was the coach that people raved about, of being this smart offensive mind. And then you get some other young coaches and coordinators in the league, and everybody forgot about McVay. The guy can coach. And he could coach with not the best of players too, and he turns average players into good players.
Just think of if Dan Snyder wasn't an idiot and kept him in Washington. He was on that Washington staff.
Yeah, how about it?
I mean, I don't know. I think good.
Defensively, you got a good defensive line. The team's built around their defensive line. They lose a little bit in the linebacker area and the defensive backfield, but it's enough to to win the division.
And listen, I think the Devontae Adams was an upgrade over Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp was an aging Cooper Kupp. He had injuries. I like Cooper Kupp. I just think I think Devontae Adams is an upgrade. Not much better. He's a little bit more athletic. Stafford's got Puka. Devontae Adams. He's got Tutu Atwell in the slot. Throw the ball to.
How do you not like a team that has Tutu Atwell and
Puka,
all these funny names on it?
Right.
Like it's fun just to listen to these guys be announced on the TV, right?
Dude, and
we're going Rams
in Southern California. Shit,
right?
And you were at SoFi. You've seen that stadium, so I mean,
it's gorgeous. I got to catch a football down on that field. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, so how can you not? So, I like the Rams too. They ride and die with Stafford. That's just But
all right, let's get through our AFC now.
So
you want me to lead the way here?
Yeah, go ahead. AFC East.
All right, AFC East. I'm going with the Bills.
You don't say. You don't.
Yeah.
You weren't picking Miami there?
Do we have to say anything about the quarterback? I think he puts up another great season. I think he doesn't take a step back at all. On the defensive side, I think their defensive front is in better shape. They spent some draft picks on the secondary. The secondary's improved. I don't think the secondary is going to be all that great, but they're definitely improved. And they just need that defense to hold up. They just need the defense to hold up because the offense is good enough to carry you. Your thoughts? Same. That's it. I mean, I feel like, my dog Mookie or Nash could pick the Bills. That division is just, we're going to pick Miami. You're going to pick New England. You're going to pick the Jets. Yeah.
I think New England's second just because of Vrabel. They're probably the second best team in that division. I could see New England maybe beating Buffalo at New England. I mean, come on. The Bills, they have a great offensive line, a good run block. So, you're going to protect the quarterback well. How do you not? I don't know. I feel like they're right there. Their window's closing, but I don't know. Yeah. I'm with you on the Bills. All right. Just summed it up.
AFC North?
Yeah, we're probably going to disagree.
I'm going Ravens.
Bengals.
Oh, no.
Bengals.
Yeah, let me say this first. I like the Bengals. I think the Bengals are going to have a good season. I like the Bengals, but the Ravens are just too tough. Like this is the year. I don't want to get ahead of myself here, but yeah, I really like the Ravens this year. Defensively, in the first half of the year, they weren't the best defense. In the second half of last year, they really came around. I think they're going to build off of that last second half of that year defensively. Offensively, they're the best that this is the best offense that they've had in years. Talk about weapons. And Lamar Jackson, I think you're really going to see him take a step above the tier of quarterbacks that he's been put in with. And I think you're going to start talking about Mahomes and him on kind of the same level. I think this is the year that he's going to put up some big numbers. And you just get a few weapons around this guy, and they are so difficult to stop. That's my pick.
Yeah, it's hard. I had a hard time picking against Baltimore because I love John Harbaugh. I think he's a great coach. But with that being said, and I like Lamar Jackson, but I'm just wondering, can he get it done? But let me ask you this: as you were talking, I'm sitting here thinking Harbaugh's been there a while, right? And they're close too. If he doesn't get it done this year, is he gone?
I know. That is a good question. I think people will be asking for him to be gone. I think he's been close, and
I'm not saying he should be. If I was a GM, I wouldn't. I would try to improve.
I think it's I think it's a legitimate question. I mean, he's been close a bunch of times, but I don't know how content people are going to be with getting close.
And look, I mean, he won a Super Bowl, but that's old news, right? I mean, yeah, he did get him. That's how many years ago?
Yeah, people forgot about that already.
That's what I mean, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
but I can tell you.
I see where you're coming with Cincinnati, though.
He would be unemployed for about 5 seconds if the Ravens let him go. Because I mean,
true. Well, his brother would want to pick him up right away. He wouldn't settle for OC or DC, that's for sure. But
he wouldn't. But that could be interesting. Them with the Chargers, if the Chargers spend some money and put some more weapons around Herbert, and you have the two Harbaugh, that could get in. If that does happen, that could be interesting. I don't think you're right. I don't think he would. But here's why I took the Bengals. It is hard to go against the Ravens. I like Joe Burrow. I like the swagger. I like that he's healthy. I do think they got an upgrade at Anarumo. I can't say his fucking name. He's a good DC.
Just mumble it.
He's a good DC, but I think Al Golden is an upgrade, a defensive coordinator. I mean, Al Golden, look, he turned around Temple, and Temple's trash. And then and he did a lot of good things in Miami. He's bounced around. His defense was good at Notre Dame. I know Notre Dame college is different than NFL, but is he a long-term answer at defensive coordinator? He's probably 3 to 5 years, but I think he's going to get guys to play for him. I think they'll be improved on defense. Burrow's healthy. Look, the band is back together. We thought Higgins was going to leave. Higgins is there. Jamar Chase is there. Burrow's there. Did you know that Chase Brown and Cindy Brown on the Eagles, they're twins? Twin brothers.
They're twins. Yeah.
I did not know that till the preseason game, and the brothers tackled each other.
That was pretty cool to see.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I do like that threat in the backfield. I don't.
Bengals just can't come out and drop eggs the first couple games of the season. Like if they do what they've done and come out and lose, 3 out of the first 4, they're not going to be able to bounce back so easily.
So going to the coach, and my answer is yes. But so if they come out and shit the bed again, say they finish 8-9. 9-7, maybe even 10-7. Is our coach gone? I think he's gone.
Has to be.
It has to be.
Has to be. With that quarterback.
Seven seasons, and you had
Chase
one good
and the weapons they have. Yeah, there's no question.
He's gone.
There's no question. He would be on a short leash for sure.
Yeah. I could see them. I mean, looking at their schedule real quick, there's Cleveland, Jacksonville, Minnesota, Denver, Lions, and then Green Bay, first 6 games. I mean, they're like mid-pack strength of schedule.
Yeah.
Dude, I could see him. I mean, they dump money into this team to bring these guys back and give Burrow weapons.
Yeah.
Both sides of the ball. You got Shamar Stewart, who could potentially be defensive rookie of the year. He could be gone mid-season. Dude. If that team is imploding. Now, if Burrow gets hurt or Jamar Chase gets hurt, I think he's safe. They bring him back.
He's got a lifeline then.
Right.
Yeah.
But if everybody's healthy and it's like week 7 and they're like 2-5, I think he could be gone, but I don't know.
It's possible. Where are we here now?
AFC South. AFC South.
Man, this is a long podcast. Holy crap! We probably half our listeners probably just like are like, I'm out. This guy's just valuable. Ramble on.
This is valuable information, though.
We just want fucking winners, you idiots. Don't tell us why. Just fucking give us winners. What the fuck are these guys doing? All right. AFC South. Man, it hurts me to say this, but I think the Jags are winning the division.
I'm right there with you. Yep. I had Jacksonville. I kind of figured we agreed because we had them over on the win total. Yeah.
Yeah. And listen, we both talked about them already and said what we think. I don't need to talk about them a lot. Their defense was horrible last year. There's no denying that. I think their defensive line will be decent again. And I'm a true believer in this offense. I really think they could score points. And it's not so much that I love the Jags. It's that I just don't think that division is talented. And I think they will be good enough to win the division.
Let me ask you this. I was thinking about this today. I like Travis Hunter. Is he playing both sides of the ball, or are they going to commit one way or the other?
They should commit one way or another. You get away with that in college. You're not getting away with that. You're not getting away with that. But I will tell you, this kid is talented. I mean, I watched a lot of Colorado games, and I just thought Dion was running at the mouth. But this dude is good.
He's good.
He is legit. He is legit, but he's slender. Like, you can only take so many NFL hits and have a body like that and hold up. That's the scary thing.
They should have retired that kid's number and not Sanders' number. It's the wrong number they retired.
I know. They're gonna beef him up a little bit. He's gonna have a different body next year for sure. But yeah, you're gonna see good stuff out of him. I'm excited.
If you were running that, right? If you were the coach there, would you play him on offense or defense? Because if you had to pick one,
I would play him on offense because I think you could make more of an impact on offense.
I'm right there with you. Because I think you just look. Trevor Lawrence needs to have a good season, and you can get. Now you're not going to get a defensive player as good as Travis Hunter. You can get someone that's close on defense. Offense, you want to have Lawrence have as many weapons as possible. You need to score points because your defense has holes, right? So put him on the offensive side of the ball. Give Lawrence the weapons that he needs. Let him run. Let's, like you said, 30 points a game, high 20s, low 30s, average points a game. Let them score. I'm right there with the offensive side of the ball. The kid, look, if you start week 1, 2, 3 playing him both sides and rotating that kid's going to get burnt out. It's too much. It's too much. All right.
We got the AFC West left. I think I would imagine we're both picking the same team here.
Broncos.
You're smirking for some reason.
I got the
Chiefs, right?
I can't listen. I can't.
We
go
don't need to talk
Andy Reid.
about this. There's nowhere. Yeah.
Travis Kelce's a clown.
Listen, I'm not a Chiefs fan. Yeah.
I'm not either.
I'm not a Chiefs fan, but I also have a brain, and they're going to win the division. They're going to win the division.
Like, are you going to? Are you going to maybe take Denver? I mean, Denver could be second. Are you going to go against? Listen, Travis Kelce's a clown. I'm tired of the Taylor Swift shit. I'm tired of the nonsense with that bullshit. But my money is on Andy Reid. I mean,
my money's on Mahomes. My money's on Mahomes. When you have Hollywood Brown, Rice, and Xavier Worthy playing together for the first time, they haven't played together all of last year because of injuries. Now you got those three playing together for the first time. That's scary. He went from the guy who didn't have many good receivers at all to you got three pretty talented guys there, and he only needs one talented guy to get the job done.
It's Tony.
Yeah. Do you remember Andrew? Do you remember Andrew Toney? That's a good question for you. Do you remember who Andrew Toney was? We're a different sport. It's a different sport.
Sixers.
And he played. Yeah, Sixers. Andrew Toney, Philadelphia Sixers, number 22.
He go to Villanova.
I don't know where he went to college.
He went to Philly school.
Yeah, that's a good question. I was always a big Sixers fan, and Billy Cunningham and Dr. J and Daryl Dawkins, Andrew Toney, Maurice Cheeks. Wow, we're really getting off the subject.
We are. It's off the. Where the hell? I have his page. Where the hell he goes? I went to Louisiana.
Something tells me he's from Bradley.
Dude,
Louisiana. Percy Hawkins was from Bradley. Remember him? Percy Hawkins.
I do.
Anyway.
Because I remember him because my one buddy was an idiot, and we'll call him Hershey Hawkins. Because
Hershey
you're in
Hawkins.
the playground as a kid playing hoops, right? And you're like, step back. And you're
Hershey
like,
Hawkins for three.
Like, Hershey Hawkins, like, you fucking retard. It's Hershey Hawkins. Every time Hershey. Like, what do you want, a fucking Hershey bar, you
That's
clown?
funny.
But yeah, so Andrew Toney,
Oh,
I thought he went to a Philly school, but he went to Louisiana. But yeah, Andrew Toney, yeah, he was a good player. There's some good Sixers teams. We'll get into hoops talk with those Sixers teams.
Yeah.
We are really going off the rails, but since we're on the top of this, the NBA in the 80s was the best NBA you're going to see. The Sixers Pistons games with Mahorn and Lambeer and Barkley, dude.
There's no question. I loved the NBA back then. Now it's hard to watch.
It's unbearable. It's unbearable.
All right, let's wrap things up here.
All right, so
wrap things up. We've been going on here for almost an hour and a half.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
That's right. I got nothing better to do, and these people need winners. We got winners.
I do. I'm starving.
Yeah, winners.
All right.
I'm surprised my dogs didn't. All right, so we got the division. So all right, let's go AFC. AFC, the 3 wild card teams in AFC. I got Ravens, Chargers, Broncos, 3 wild card in AFC.
Ravens, Broncos, Chargers. Yeah. I like the idea of the Chargers and Broncos. I don't know who I'm going with the third one here. Yeah.
Pressure.
I'm not willing. Yeah. I don't want to take a guess.
It's a wild card.
I agree with you on those two.
I think it's a wild card. Are they going to make it? Probably not. So, I mean, like, they're going to do anything? Probably not. But.
Yeah. I do not have money on these bets, just to let you know. I'm just going along with the flow here.
Yeah. If I had a gun to my head, put money on one, it'd be Broncos. But I'm not.
Yeah,
I just, for the sake of breaking this down, to give people an idea of where we're going or what to look at, those would be my 3. I'm not betting those, but
Okay, what about your NFC?
NFC wild card. Obviously, if I'm picking the Redskins to win the division, I got the Eagles as a wild card.
Yeah, I got the Redskins.
49ers as a wild card, and Packers
and 49ers.
Now the 49ers, they have the easiest schedule in the league. So barring that team could go either way. With Ayuk and Purdy and Kyle Shanahan could be a bonehead, but easiest schedule as long as they're somewhat healthy. As long as Purdy's okay, I mean, you could deal with 1 or 2 guys losing those. But I think if the easiest schedule in the league, it kind of sets them up. As long as they kind of just do what they should be a wild card team. Will they do anything?
All right. So who you got coming through on both sides? Who you got on your AFC?
Yeah, AFC Buffalo, NFC Eagles. Now, if you said who's your 1B in the NFC, I would at this point. It'd be a toss. I'll tell you, if the Eagles don't make it, it's the winner of the NFC North, which could be, in my opinion, Green Bay or the Lions. That's where I'm gonna. That's where my cards would lie.
Okay. Yeah, I got the Eagles coming through in the NFC. I'll tell you what, man, this AFC, that could go so many different ways.
I know. I just feel like this is. Listen, we talked about the Ravens and Harbaugh. Is he out? Is McDermott? I think McDermott's out if they don't. It's Super Bowl or bust for Buffalo. Now, do they have to win the Super Bowl for him to stay? They got to get there. Yeah. Because look, Kansas City is going to should win the division, but they're beatable, right? So if Buffalo has home field and it's Super Bowl or bust. If they don't get the Super Bowl, McDermott's out. You got to blow that up.
Yeah, I'm going Ravens. I'm going Eagles, Ravens.
I would love to see that. I would love to see that.
I could see the Bills, beating the Ravens, but I'm going with it. I said it early. I think we're looking at the Birds Ravens, and that would be a really cool Super Bowl.
Battle of the Birds. I would love to see that. That's like the Turnpike Express.
Yeah, that would be nice.
I mean, that would be probably one of the highest rated Super Bowl. You have a former Eagles coach under Andy Reid, and then you got I mean, that's two large fan bases, and there's history there on both sides. To be honest with you, if that is the Super Bowl, if we get that, I'd be okay if either one, however that ended. Like I would be okay with, I mean, as much as I want the Eagles to win, I wouldn't be like, it's not like they lost to like the Chiefs or something. They'd be like, even if they play Buffalo, if I would like to see Allen win the Super Bowl, that's the reason I picked Buffalo. Do I think Buffalo's going to get there? I'm 50-50, but I just feel like Super Bowl or bust for them, so it's shit.
Yeah.
And then I, just because it's Super Bowl or bust, I got the Bills. I got the Bills over the Eagles,
and I got the Ravens over the Eagles. Okay, I'm going Ravens. He's going Bills. Both picking against
still AFC, right? I mean, we're going against the home team. We're going against our team. We're going against the Eagles, but still at the AFC winning the Super Bowl. I think the AFC's due. I don't know.
We'll see what happens here. Tom, I know you played a couple prop wagers too before we wrap up here.
I'll run through those real quick, and I got a couple nuggets that I was teasing earlier. Vrabel, Coach of the Year, plus 900. Just because I took Cincinnati to win the division. Burrow, MVP, plus 650. There's also another play there, and that's because I took the Redskins to win the division. Jaden Daniels, plus 850 to win MVP, because I feel like if either one of those teams win their division, I feel like it's a quarterback play that got them there. We talked about the Rams, right? So this is a long shot. If the Rams win the division and have a 10, 11 win season, I like Stafford at 50 to 1 for MVP. I mean, it's going to be Stafford if they get there. We talked about Devontae Adams. Now, you could parlay this and get more bang for your buck. Devontae Adams over 950.5 receiving yards and over 8.5.
Here he goes with his parlays. Here he goes with the parlays. I told you this was going to start to happen.
Trying to make a quick hit here. Over 950.5 receiving yards and over 8.5 touchdowns. So if you just did the over 950.5 receiving yards, it's minus 110. So it's pretty close to even money. The over 8.5 touchdowns is plus 110. So you're plus money there on that. And I think he's going to make an impact on that team. And if they're going to win the division, that's my thought is those numbers, he's going to hit that.
And if you parlay all those prop bets together, a $10 wager wins you $36,452.
I got 12 prop bets, and it's probably the parlay would probably be like a plus 80,000. So just book it. Broncos over 9.5 wins, plus 110. Broncos to win the AFC West is plus 350. It's plus one. It's I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to play it. I have an asterisk, but I'm not sure on that. I like the number just because if anybody's going to dethrone the Chiefs, I think it's going to be Jamar Stewart, Defensive Rookie of the Year, plus 2,500. Again, that's my Bengals division winner. Right? I just feel like they're going to have to get good play on both sides of the ball. This is why I asked you about Travis Hunter, because I was in agreement upon with you that he's better on offense and or better suits Jacksonville, helps him out more on offense and defense. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Travis Hunter, plus 1,000 for Offensive Rookie of the Year. And Emeka Egbuka, Offensive Rookie of the Year, plus 2,500. That kind of goes in line with my Tampa and then winning the division.
Don't hate it. Don't hate it.
You know, that's just some fun shit to throw around there. The other two nuggets real quick that I wanted to drop. We talked about schedule. So first 3 weeks of the season, these teams have the hardest schedule to start out the season, which could impact your over-under win total. The hardest first 3 weeks of the season, Cleveland, Jets, Eagles, Saints. The easiest first 3 weeks of the season, Bills, Niners, Texans, Pats. And this is kind of interesting when I saw this stat. So there's 3 teams that will face at least 3 opponents coming out of a bye week, which could be a disadvantage. The Redskins 4 times, the Raiders 3 times, and the Raiders face these 3 teams coming out of byes in a 5-week span from weeks 9 through 13. And then the Saints are also 3 times they face at least the 3 opponents coming out of a bye. Now, we talked about the Rams. The Rams, the flip side of that, face the most teams heading into a bye. They face 3 teams heading into their bye week. We talked entirely too long, but we gave you a lot of good information. It's going to help you with these future picks.
These first couple podcasts, getting all this information out, are going to be long ones. As we get going through the season, just giving you our winners, we'll be able to flow a little more easily and get you these winners and with not as much depth, but it's important to get this information out. It gives you an informative decision which way you want to go here. So what's the plan here moving forward? We'll wrap this up and give you a quick idea of what's on next. I guess our next NFL will be week 1 winners, right?
Yeah. So next week, we're going to go through a similar format for the show. Will be college football, future picks, predictions, what have you. Just because college football there's way too many teams. And I mean, we could be here for 8 hours, which we're not, because we would have absolutely nobody listen at that point. So the plan is for next week is to look at college football predictions, future picks, but just looking at the top 25 and then who are the playoff teams and some changes in college football of coaching ranks and ins and outs. So that'll be the gist of the show next week. We'll take a look at, did we cash that UFC bet or not? Are the Dodgers still falling off the cliff? Are the Phillies making a move up? Because we are heading into September, which is winding down the MLB season. So we'll take a look at that next week and whatever else.
Tell your friends,
please
like and subscribe.
Yeah, we will see you guys next week. You can always rewind this podcast to listen to the almost 2 hours of NFL talk and picks because you're probably sleeping by now. Mike is literally sweating his bets. I think his AC broke in his house. The guy needs a shower.
Yeah, something's going on in his fucking room. It's a sweat box. Jeez.
We will have, we can set up a GoFundMe to help fix his AC. So next week he's not sitting in his underwear. Although that could be maybe ratings.
Do. I doubt it. Maybe 20 years ago. Nah, not even then. Jesus Christ. Okay, we're getting delirious here.
We will see you next week. College football, NFL Rewind this. Like, subscribe, Facebook, Twitter, your mom's Instagram, wherever you find your podcast. See you next week.
Peace.
Thanks for tuning in to Off the Hook. If you're riding with the picks or fading them, hit subscribe and come back for more sharp takes and real action. See you next time.